My wife slept with his best friend as a joke. That's what she told me, a joke. So I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just packed a bag, walked out the door, and promised myself one thing. She would regret ever thinking my heart was something she could prank. People say you can feel your soul leave your body when betrayal hits. They're right. One second I was a husband planning our anniversary dinner. The next I was listening to her laugh, actually laugh, while explaining how it didn't mean anything. As if destroying trust is some kind of game. As if intimacy can be shrugged off like an accidental bump on the street. But here's the part no one knows. I wasn't angry because she cheated. I was angry because she expected me to stay. She thought I would swallow the story, bury the humiliation, and keep pretending everything was fine. She thought wrong, because the moment I closed that door behind me, I made a decision. Not to chase revenge out of pettiness, but to rebuild a life so solid, so untouchable, that the memory of what she threw away would haunt her more than anything I could ever say. And trust me, it did. Hey everyone, welcome back to Flame Revenge, the place where real stories burn brighter than fiction. Here we dive deep into betrayal, heartbreak, and the kind of justice that life rarely delivers on its own. If you love emotional twists, raw confessions, and endings that hit harder than karma itself, you're in the right place. Grab a seat, settle in, and let's step into today's story because this one stings. Before everything shattered, our life looked painfully normal from the outside. My wife, Leah, was the kind of woman people described as fun, spontaneous, and everyone's favorite at the party. I used to admire that about her, how she could walk into a room and instantly light it up. Maybe that's why I never noticed when the spark between us started to dim. I'm the opposite of Leah, steady, predictable. The guy who remembers birthdays, sets reminders, and triple checks the locks before bed. I thought that made us balanced her chaos, my calm. We'd been together 8 years, married for 3, and I genuinely believed we were building something strong. We didn't fight much. We laughed often, or at least, I thought we did. Then there was Jordan, my best friend since high school. He was the adventurous type, always dragging me into some ridiculous plan or weekend trip. Leah loved his energy. I never found that strange. Until later, we all hung out together so often people joked we were a package trio. I trusted them both more than I trusted myself. They were the two people I'd have bet my entire life on. Turns out, that was my first mistake. It started with little things, the kind you brush off because you trust the people involved. Leah became distant, distracted. She'd laugh a little too hard at her phone, then lock it the second I walked into the room. When I asked what was so funny, she'd shrugged and say, "Just memes." Jordan, meanwhile, started showing up less. He'd cancel plans last minute or say he was too busy. I didn't think much of it. People grow, schedules change, but something felt off. I didn't know then that those canceled plans were the first cracks in a foundation I thought was unshakable. Then there were the inside jokes, ones I wasn't part of. I'd walk into the kitchen and find them both laughing, only for the room to fall silent the second they saw me. Leah would wave it off. You wouldn't get it. Jordan would clap me on the shoulder like everything was fine. If only I had checked sooner. If only I had asked harder questions. But I kept convincing myself it was nothing. That every couple goes through weird phases. That my best friend would never cross a line. I was wrong. Because those small, uncomfortable moments, they were just a warm dash up. The truth hit me on a Tuesday night. It's a kind of ordinary evening that becomes unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Leah was in the shower, her phone buzzing nonstop on the nightstand. Normally, I wouldn't touch it. Trust should have been enough. But something in my gut twisted. A feeling I couldn't swallow anymore. One notification lit up the screen. A message from Jordan. "You still laughing about last night?" My chest tightened. I opened the chat and instantly my world tilted. There they were, messages no married man should ever have to read. Her telling him it was hilarious, that I'd never suspect a thing, that the whole night had been just for fun. Him bragging, calling it the best joke we've ever pulled. And then the picture. Blurry, drunken, unmistakable, my wife. My best friend Dot in my own house. My hands went cold. My ears rang. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Not because of the act itself, but because they treated my heart like entertainment. Like my trust was a toy. When Leah stepped out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, humming like everything was normal, I realized something. That was the exact moment our marriage died, and the exact moment my revenge began. I didn't scream. I didn't throw things. I didn't even ask her why Dot instead. Something inside me went eerily still, the kind of calm that appears right before a storm. While Leah got dressed, I quietly sat on the edge of the bed and sent every message, every picture, every sickening joke to my email. I organized the screenshots into folders labeled by date. Evidence, not anger. Facts, not feelings. Then I started thinking our finances. Our joint accounts. The house deed in my name. The upcoming promotion at my job that she bragged about to everyone. The anniversary trip I'd already paid for, piece by piece. I mapped out everything she depended on and everything she took for granted. I wasn't planning to ruin her life. No, I was planning to remove myself from it so completely that the absence would do the damage for me. Silently, I transferred my savings into a personal account she didn't know existed. I called my boss and confirmed I could relocate early. I scheduled meetings with 2 divorce attorneys, the best in the city, and picked the one who specialized in cases involving infidelity. By the time she walked into the bedroom, smiling like nothing had happened, my revenge was already in motion, and she had no idea. 2 weeks later, everything lined up perfectly. Leah thought I had gotten over it. She acted sweeter. Cooked dinner, even suggested we reconnect. I played along. Calm and collected. Because the final act needed all the pieces in place. The turning point came on a Saturday morning the same day. We were supposed to leave for our anniversary trip. She came downstairs with her suitcase, smiling like she hadn't set our marriage on fire. I handed her an envelope. She opened it, expecting tickets. Instead, she found divorce papers neatly clipped to the printed screenshots of her messages with Jordan. Her face drained of color. I thought it was just a joke, she whispered. Oh, I know, I said. And this is mine. I walked her through every detail. The house she'd be moving out of, the accounts closed, the trip canceled, the attorney already notified. What hit her hardest wasn't the loss, it was the realization that I'd done it all quietly, maturely, without a meltdown she could twist into guilt. Then came the finishing blow. Jordan arrived, unannounced, ready for a hangout. He froze when he saw the papers in her hand and the evidence in mine. Neither of them could speak. I just grabbed my bags, nodded once, and walked out the door. It was the loudest silence I'd ever heard. The funny thing about revenge is that it doesn't feel the way you expect. I didn't walk away feeling victorious or powerful. I just felt done. Like a weight had finally slipped off my shoulders. Leah called nonstop for days. First angry, then apologetic, then desperate. She begged to talk, to explain, to fix what we had. But every time my phone buzzed, I felt less connected to the man who once needed her. Silence became my answer, and it hurt her far more than shouting ever could. Jordan tried to one pathetic text after another, blaming the alcohol, blaming the joke, blaming anything except himself. I blocked him without a word. In my new apartment, surrounded by boxers and quiet, I finally breathed. No chaos, no secrets, no pretending. Revenge didn't give me joy, but it gave me freedom. And sometimes, that's the best ending you can ask for. Looking back, I used to think betrayal was the end of everything, the kind of wound that never fully closes. But the truth is, it's not the betrayal itself that destroys you. It's the belief that you weren't enough, that something about you pushed them to do it. That kind of thinking will eat you alive if you let it. What I learned is this: other people's choices are not your flaws. Leah didn't cheat because I was too quiet, too steady, or too loyal. Jordan didn't cross the line because our friendship wasn't strong enough. They did what they did because of who they are, not because of who I am. And once I understood that, the anger stopped mattering. The revenge stopped mattering. What mattered was reclaiming the parts of myself I'd sacrificed trying to keep the wrong people happy. If there's a moral to all this, it's simple. Revenge doesn't heal you, clarity does. Walking away isn't weakness, it's self-respect. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is let someone feel the loss of you. Because at the end of the day, the real victory isn't watching them fall. It's realizing you've finally risen. And now I'm curious, what would you have done in my place? Would you have walked away quietly or gone for an even colder kind of justice? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this story pulled you in, just don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Flame Revenge for more real-life Burn Bee.